It was heavy. Yeah, because the challenge working out how to get those standards in safely. So we managed it.
Excellent.
What frame is it?
It's a Saxbian Farmer Duplex 1888 pattern.
How many levers did you get all together, or is it full frame?
Well, we got bits that would make a longer frame from donor. Half of this is original. Originally, it was actually 18 levers. They didn't bother with the last 4 for some reason. It was just never fitted. And we need all 22.
Yeah.
Really, so we are going to put all of those back. Yeah. And in case you were wondering, the ones were originally backwards.
I noticed that.
So
I was just going to ask why.
no, it's
some LNER feature at some point,
Yes.
but put one in the sense of the rest of them backwards.
yeah. So we thought it'd be nice to imitate that.
Replicate
It jumps out at you, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, that's a bit of a nod to the original installation.
What was it? What was life standards up to about there?
Yes. Just been broken off.
Sledgehammered off. So.
Yeah, scrap value.
I think it was just they couldn't be bothered to unbolt them.
No.
So we found out the frame in the ditch down there.
We found 6
Right.
levers, about 2 standards in pieces. Literally the kitchen sink.
But was the box a wartime design?
Just after.
Just after, so.
1946, building 1947 signal kit.
And the factory over the road was still there?
Yes, it was built for the expansion of the site.
Right.
So that's why we have a box here, even though we're pretty close to Eastleigh and Gotham.
Yeah.
So that's why it looks a little bit like a pillbox and why the windows are so small.
Probably why it survived so well, because it's brick as well.
Yes, solid concrete ceiling.
Is it? For the ALP.
So it's interesting. It is after the war, but they were still thinking in war terms.
Just in case.
Yeah. There's the relay room.
That's a relay room.
Which is just big enough to fit your relays in. So that frame there is a donor. We wanted to put it in as a bit of a demonstration, but also to prove it fits for our own satisfaction.
Was there a separate battery room here at any time?
Yes, that is over there.
Just up the outside?
It's accessed from outside the building.
Yeah.
That's got a concrete ceiling as well and ventilation bricks. So we probably would end up using that for batteries, but obviously they don't need to be anywhere near as big.
Yeah.
The original shelves actually are stacked up in the corner there. You can see they've got fuses on them. So we could reuse those in principle, but they're a bit wobbly.
Good wood,
they're
yeah.
much bigger than they need
Battery
to be.
acid has a go at things, doesn't it?
Well, we found all the old batteries in the ditch. So I'm not sure I would have left broken glass and sulfuric acid within reach of livestock.
Oh, did all the Clanshire ones with glass?
Yeah, well, it was a mix. We had some with was it manganese dioxide,
Yes.
the black powdery stuff.
Yeah.
We had some lead acid cells made by chloride.
Yeah.
All sorts. A complete mix of them.
Good few years mix there then.
Oh yeah. Hopefully all inert ones.
So when would have been the last time that this were operational?
I would say 1970, 71, thereabouts. After that it was a shunter's cabin, which is when they started smashing things and throwing things down the ditch. And then in the mid-80s it was completely abandoned. So where we are now is 25, 30 years of complete dereliction, followed by us lot trying to fix it. And as you might imagine, it looks big jobs that floor.
Well, the wood.
Well, it's overbuilt, but it's also old, tired and
Rotten, been on fire, been woodwormed, been vandalised.
Pretty much anything you can think of has happened to that. So while it is fine to walk on,
Yeah.
it's not fine to start using as a basis for new equipment.
If the new wood needed.
All of it. There's no point keeping any of those
Yeah.
timbers because when you start inspecting them, you find
You find problems, yeah.
Yeah, it costs us some money.
Yeah. At least it's not ridiculously sized beams like frame beams.
No. The funny thing about those frame beams is because it's split, they actually twist quite easily. And those old timbers wedged underneath it, I think,
Midland did the same.
are a bit of a bodge to make the frame wobble less.
And also
Yeah.
you get a nice platform to walk over all your rocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we never realised that was an issue until we put the frame in, and now if you pull that lever, the whole thing just rocks a little bit.
It's a learning curve, yeah.
Um,
Well, you always used to say the rest of the frame keeps the rest of the frame in place, doesn't it?
well, yes. Obviously, we can tie it into the floor when the floor goes in. Yeah, I think we're.
I think that's it. There's an ash dump on the steps, so you dump your ash in there. Bin man comes and picks it up from there. And LNR?
Yes.
LNR, a little invasion halfway up the stairs. So also your plans for the future. Then obviously you've got the bed of the frame in there. You can start fitting the levers slowly.
We're not going to fit the levers until this.
It's all kitted out inside.
Well, because you've got to store the levers here somewhere.
Yes.
And also because it's a Saxby Val rating, it duplex. You have to get one of the quadrants. You have to take all half of them
Oh
out.
yes, yeah.
So that gets very old very quickly.
Yeah, dinting's a bit like that.
So do be careful inside the stripy tape. You're not going to fall through it, but yeah.
My weight might make it dangerous.
Yeah, it's one of those things where
It's probably the way to go. Coming out of the way of all the cameras.
yeah. So we've got photographs of this building on the left and photographs of the most similar ones I could find on the internet.
So obviously GC mainline. It was retained as far as Ruddington because the country park and the old site used to be MOD Ruddington. Retained for that, retained for this gypsum site. MOD traffic stopped, I think, late 70s.
Yeah.
This stopped shortly thereafter, at which point it was abandoned. So we think that's where that comes from because you know you've got MOD traffic down here.
I know a lot of the early concretes actually added salt to it to make it stronger, which is a horrible idea to add in to reinforce it. This is reinforcing, isn't it? Yeah. Air vented.
That's not that's just for access to the hangars for the.
Oh, it's down there for the runners.
Yeah.
It's a lovely window construction on the quiet.
Yeah, crystal steel frame windows, all galv, never rust.
Yeah. Original fittings or?
Original fittings. These were, you couldn't get these out if you wanted to.
I'm good. As well spans in.
Polycarb windows as well.
Good. Yeah. Toilet. Originally there was chemical toilets in here, there was never any drains. So this is a toilet space, which oddly enough actually has its own balcony to get to the toilet. So instead of having the toilet on the same side as the stairs, you come in on the opposite side and you've got this rather large, grandiose little bit of a toilet for a chemical toilet. Drip loop there, just for the rain coming down. Even though plug doors protected off the balcony as well. Those are the support beam coming out from the canopy balconies.
Several iterations of it. Since we've got 22 levers and it's a 3-loop situation, you can't signal everything through the box. So the plan is signal the main lines with the main signals, then the loop side is controlled with 2 ground frames. The take signals that take you in, I suppose it would be slotted from the ground frame as well. And then
Is this quite fast?
taking that out.
Well, we've been
The down main will be bi-directional, because we need to be able to terminate trains, but because of lever limitations we can't do both bi-directional. Coming in this way you'll have red yellow, and then red yellow again, approach release for the points.
Yeah.
Followed by red yellow green and then your section.
So will that be direction lever then to look for a box?
I haven't done the lever of allocation.
Something for the future, yeah.
Yeah. Coming in the other way, move around. Similar arrangement if you're going the main route onto the up main. If you're going the diversion route, you don't get approach release because you're still on a straight route. Otherwise, it's just your normal shunt routes around. Signal 4, 17 and 8, we think we're going to put those in as Search lights.
I was going to say, is 4's the one that's there now on the concrete
Yes.
post, isn't it? Yeah.
We were going to put it down here, but the bank doesn't support it
Yeah.
particularly well. And also, it's there.
It's the right place for it anyway, isn't it?
These are giving us a headache because you don't have proper overlap to there. So
Yeah.
your order will probably have to be you take this one in and then you take that one in, or you have to take this one in, make sure it's stopped, and then bring another.
Like
in.
most passing loops, you just one at a time now. Yeah.
Unfortunately. But because the reason they're on a gantry rather than anything is we're hoping we can move them into the middle of the 6-foot and then you can see them under the bridge.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you've got to use banner repeaters, which we don't have any of. All of the instances are type things. So we don't have any interior bits of this box as it was. So we've had to look at other boxes, see how they did their block shelf, how they did their levers. Because that's Speen Bridge, they just put theirs against the wall.
Yeah.
They put theirs on top, following off down on top of the shelf. Some of them are more conventional, like you're doing here.
Yeah.
But also, notice toilets in the normal place, toilets in the normal place,
Yeah.
toilets in the normal place.
Stuck it on the other side for some reason.
Quite enjoy when they, in this news article, it's a signal box of the future. Soon they'll all be like this. Well, not quite, unfortunately. That's everything.
The idea, it does.
So very satisfying.
Yeah, very much.